have a good moto, and then he'll have a horrible moto. And hopefully this somewhat good moto for Colin Park will turn into an even better moto for second moto, and we'll get to see the true colors that this kid can shine through.
I think Jalek Swoll, he's been really good at the ranch just because he has that consistency to go along with his speed as well. He gets good starts, always seems to stay out of trouble by getting out front in that top 5 consistently. And that's what it's all about. But the revs are up, and these guys are about ready to go racing.
And here they go. Gates down and races on out of the GoPro dog box into that Bell Helmet's first turn.
Jalek Swoll, just like I was saying, Jalek with those awesome starts on that Rockstar Husqvarna in that nice looking flow yellow 7 gear out front, making it look easy.
Looks like Palmer Neely opening up quickly there in second. He'll drop back just a little bit, though.
I believe that's Gonzalez on the 93.
Yeah, Gonzalez.
And it is Gonzalez, Mason Gonzalez, our first moto winner. So right now, we've got our second place finisher in moto number 1, Jalek Swoll, out front with a hole shot, and Gonzalez, our moto number 1 winner, trying to hunt him down. This is just a perfect recipe for a good moto. Man, I am excited for this one, Rodney.
No doubt, and I have to agree with you on this one. As Swoll got in second in Moto 1, your winner is currently running in the number 2 spot, as we pointed out there on that 93. Gonzalez out of Fort Walton Beach, Florida, is what they're telling us, and we're going to see right now what's going. But there, look at the 77 machine. I told you he got off to a pretty decent start. He finished 15th in Moto 1, and here's one of those scenarios where maybe not so good in Moto 1, but he's going to be a factor for these guys, I think, in Moto 2.
You know, Palmer Neely, I believe he was running a lot higher than 15th at one point in Moto number 1, because I remember the 77 in Moto number 1. I think he may have ran into some trouble. So Neely, now with a much better start, getting out front, and he is in that podium spot, that final one, 3rd place. Having a good run, but he's got a handful of riders that are getting ready to be breathing down his neck. As they come across the stripe for the first time, we can give you guys a rundown, and it's going to be Jalek Swoll, number 30 on the Husqvarna. Mason Gonzalez, our Moto number 1 winner, in second. This will be Neely back in the 3rd spot. 4th spot's going to be Austin Black. And rounding out your top 5 is going to be Kyson Palmer on that number 88 KTM.
A couple of riders to keep an eye on. A few riders to keep an eye on throughout this race. You see back in the number 7 spot is Ethan Mann. Carter Bees, the 33, is 8th place right now. Tommy Rios rounding out the top 10 as we look a little further back down through. There's several names that could make their way through this pack, but real quick as he went through, Swoll, Gonzalez, Neely, Black, Palmer, your top 5. Then it's Gavin Leachman in 6th, Ethan Mann in 7th, Carter Bees is 8th, Christopher Torres is 9th, Tommy Rios in 10th, 11th is Jackson Gray, Kate Nipping in 12th, 13th, Gage Stein as they battle for that number 1 spot. Russ Chapman is up there in 14th, Dalton Dyer 92 and 15th, Maxwell Sanford is 16th, Chandler Baker the 42 and 17th, Bryce Hansen 18th, 21, Haruki Sagawa is 19th, and Matthew Ziegler rounds out your top 20.
Ethan Mann back in the 7th spot. We talked about him having a great moto in Moto number 1. Not necessarily showing his face up front until the very end. Whoa, 77 of Palmer Neely getting all squirrely coming out of Storyland back there. And now he has the number 55 of Austin Black breathing down his neck.
Well, looks like Black has gained the real estate that he needs. You look at these gaps, though, 1.5 seconds after the first lap. Between 1st and 2nd, 2nd and 3rd, less than a second between the 3rd and 4th, 4th and 5th, 5th and 6th, 6th and 7th place rides. I mean, that was very tight coming into that first lap complete. As we roll through and get set to wrap up this 2nd lap, things are starting to settle in a little bit more, and the battles are starting to develop, like this one here for the 3rd place position with Neely and Black now.
So it looks like Black still trying to chase down Neely for that final spot on the podium. But Jalek Swoll out front running a 2-minute flat, or 2-minute .3, sorry. About a 1.5 seconds quicker than our Moto number 1 winner, Mason Gonzalez. So Gonzalez is going to have to reach into the tank a little bit further if he wants to try to track down last year's champion, Jalek Swoll. And then we have Oh, no, it looks like Ethan Mann must have gone down last lap around. He ran a 2:16 and dropped all the way back to 16th place. So Ethan Mann, our third place finisher in Moto number 1, not starting things out here in Moto number 2 the way he would like.
Well, heartbreakers, no doubt, and that's what the road to Loretta's is like, and the road to the championship at Loretta's, man. I mean, it's faced with so many obstacles out there, whether it be the course or other riders, the heat, yourself, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of obstacles to overcome in a week like this, and even though you may get taken out of the knee sometimes, it's how quick you can stand back up and put the head down and start charging. I think keeping an eye out on Ethan Mann, even though he's back in 16th place, I think we're going to be impressed with how he finishes when the checkers finally fly on this one.
Yeah, he made a hard charge in Moto number 1, so it looks like he's going to have to charge his way back through the field in Moto number 2, but the real bummer is I wish that Jesse Flock wouldn't have ran into problems in that first moto early. He crashed on the first lap, breaking his collarbone, and was out of this one. We could possibly be seeing one more championship contender in this class if he would not have had an injury yesterday. So we hope Jesse Flock can get well soon, and we see him back at the ranch next year. But right now, it's Jalik Swoll out front on that Husqvarna in that bright yellow 7 gear. We're further back in the pack on Racer TV here. We're going to try to pick it up. That's going to be the 19th of Gavin Leishman and Christopher Torres on the KTM, trying to battle their way up towards the top 5.
Looking back down through the pack right now, Colin Park, the 43 machine rider that took the 4th place position, and I mentioned has good motos and then seems to have the problems. Well, he's having problems here in Moto number 2 is that rider was running back in the number 23 spot. As we check in with him now after 3 laps complete, he has moved up from actually 24th place now into an 18th place position. So we'll be keeping an eye on the 43 of Colin Park, who finished 4th in Moto 1, outside the top 20 there the first couple of laps, but has now moved into a top 20 position. So a little bit of changes going on there for them. Ethan Mann remaining steady. Actually gained a couple of spots, so he's back up to 14th place position. Toughest break for him right now is he's got a lot of riders in that 205, 206 range just ahead of him, so he's going to have to find an extra gear out there to try to loft himself through the pack. Our front runners, Swoll and Gonzalez in the 201, 202 range. Palmer Neely actually just carried a 201 himself. Austin Black a 202.2, and Carter Bees is the first rider out over a 202 at the 203.3 mark on that number 33 machine. So, man, if you're going to run top 5 in this class, you better have things dialed in, and little mistakes like that are going to be costly, like we saw Ethan Mann take there and Colin Park off the starting line.
The crazy thing about the Schoolboy class is back even in around the 2002, 2000, even when I raced Schoolboy class in 2004, that was kind of one of the premier classes. I can remember a lot of guys riding Schoolboy, also racing the 125A class as well. Guys like Ryan Mills, who is a graduate out of Loretta's with a lot of good credentials. Davey Millsaps is another rider who did that. Nick Adams was another guy who never quite made it to the next level very well, but riding the Schoolboy class as well as the elite 125A class. And now things have changed a little bit. The 125 riders don't seem to be graduating as quick as they used to from Loretta's. I can remember kids at 15 years old getting bumped to the pros. Now I like to see these kids waiting until they're 17, closer to 18 to get in the pro ranks. You know, that's something that I've noticed. And one thing that you can point out, when I first came into this business, Jimmy, if you were 19 years old or 20 years old, you were old in the school. And now we're seeing riders' careers going into their upper mid-20s, upper 20s, and even into their 30s, and some even carrying it into their mid-30s. So the longevity of the careers have gotten better, and I think that we recognize that through the amateur ranks, so it might be better to hold it back, let them mature into those types of riders, and once they hit that 19-year-old mark, that's whenever you really start to see. There's some that progress a little quicker, but at 18, 19, 20 really seems to be the place where these riders start to excel and are mature enough to start racing there. And I think it's changed a lot just to the simple fact that, like the Geico Honda team having their their amateur program. Now they don't try to rush. The parents and the kids aren't rushing to try to get into anything. They can be on a professional team and gaining knowledge without even having to race the professional ranks. They can kind of grow them into the rider they want and then release them whenever they feel like they're ready. Teams like Geico Honda, Yamaha and the Star Racing program doing the same thing. Kawasaki and Mitch Payton with their Pro Circuit Kawasaki team. All these guys are doing such a good job of grooming these young riders and then making sure that they're ready before they send them out in the wild, which is Lucas Oil Pro Motocross.
Right.
Hey, who's that? Number 16. That is Christopher Torres, getting wild out there and actually tripling into that sand like we saw Halpayne doing yesterday. And we saw Halpayne doing that late in the day and going down hard. And that was on a 250F. And Torres just sending it on the 125 with absolutely no care in the world. So staying froggy fresh this morning on Thursday and just going for the launch into the sand. Got to give it up for Torres. May not be in the top 5, but he is definitely opening eyes by launching into the sand.
Taking a look at our top 10 after 5 now. Swole Gonzalez, 4 seconds is basically all that separates those two. Running nearly identical lap times. Austin Black only 3.4 seconds back behind them. Palmer Neely 3.5 seconds back and fourth. Carter B 6.2 seconds back is your 5th place right. Gavin Leachman only 3 seconds off pace on the 19 and 6. 7th is Christopher Torres, whom we're talking about, only a second behind Leachman. Caden Nipping is 8th aboard the 85. He was less than that behind Torres. Kyson Palmer, the 88 and 9th. Russ Chapman rounding out the top 10. So watching this continually developing race out here, those Swole and Gonzalez have kind of taken over control the 1st and 2nd place position. Black as well in 3rd. Neely, Bees, Leachman, Torres, Nipping. All those riders, though, I think may still have some room to have to deal with the other riders. And one of those includes the 19 machine that we're watching out there right now in Gavin Leachman, as he has got pressure coming in from the 85 now. I believe that's Caden Nipping moving up a spot around Torres now to make the battle here for a solid top 10 position even tougher. Through the heart of this Loretta Lynn race course now, through the big sweeper turn. Our leaders have checked in with us already. Swole and Gonzalez are by. Austin Black is by in the number 3 spot. We are staying kind of consistent, although Swole did pick up to a 201.8. A 2-minute .396 has been his fastest lap, and he established that early on. So that 201, still trying to get a little bit more comfort zone there over Mason Gonzalez. Now remember, Gonzalez did win Moto number 1, so he's going to be looking for every opportunity to strike as this Moto wears on. Austin Black back in the number 3 spot. Neely is still 4th. Carter Bees is still in the number 5 spot. Nipping is now up to 6th as he's gotten around Gavin Leachman. We were watching that battle. We see that Kyson Palmer is 8th, Russ Chapman at 9th. Ethan Mann now up to a 10th place position. Colin Park is now in the number 12 spot as he worked his way back from outside. Well, on lap 3 was looking at a 24th place position, moved up to 17, and now we see that he has moved up as well. So Park, a 4th place finisher in Moto 1, drew the back card off the start there in Moto 2, but he's doing everything he can with the hand he was dealt.
Well, just like we talked about, Ethan Mann coming through the field. At one point in time, seeing him way back, running into problems on the first lap. So, Mann continuing to show us that he can charge through the pack. But, man, Jalek Swole, he must have not got too well of rest after that Moto number 1 performance, because you can tell he's fired up right now.
Oh, yeah. He is. He's one of those riders that is not used to losing. He doesn't take it very well, and this is how he tries to answer back.
Man, looking super flashy out front. I really like the way that Neon 7 gear looks when they go into the shadows. He's just glowing around the track, and he's leading another lap around here. They are just going into their 7th lap of racing. So that was the 7th lap, and Jalek Swole coming across with a 202.7. But Gonzalez about half a second quicker.
Still a 4.4 second gap between 1st and 2nd. And
oh, now that is just a struggle right there. That just goes to show you how bad it can snowball here at Loretta. As he goes down, tries to pick his bike up so fast, the number 92 rider, that is, a Dalton Dyer, and just yanks it up too quick, drops it on the other side, falls on his bike. That's just got to be 7 laps into this moto. You're hot, you're tired. The last thing you want to be doing is dropping your bike twice.
Ethan Mann on the move again, now up to 8th place aboard the 52. Russ Chapman is 9th. Colin Park now checks in 10th place, as both riders suffering from not so great starts as they're trying to redeem themselves throughout this moto to try to position themselves for now not necessarily a championship, but as much as anything, a top 5 overall that they can take bragging rights back to their home districts and back to their home camps to talk about. You know, a lot of emphasis is put on national championships, as we mentioned yesterday, but as everyone says, just to make it to Loretta Lynn's is an amazing accomplishment. And if you're top 20, that is great. And if you make it into the top 10, you are certainly a part of an elite group of people. But yeah, so top 10s are very solid performances. Even top 20s, I mean, you are riding amongst the best of the best in your divisions whenever you're out here.
Looking down the order, too, Austin Black on the 55 KTM having a fine ride out there. Actually matching the leader's pace that last lap around with a 2:02.4. And his quickest lap time of the race, actually a little bit faster than our Moto number 1 winner, Mason Gonzalez. So Austin Black, he finished 24th in Moto 1. So Black in 24th in Moto number 1. And then I believe Neely was back in 15th. So huge turnarounds for Black and Neely in this one, running 3rd and 4th after a 15th place finish for Neely in Moto number 1 and a 24th place finish for Black. So huge turnaround for those guys. But in the championship run, they're still out of the picture.
Yes, they are. But, you know, there's still a good battle. It looks like unless something major happens to Swoller Gonzalez, I mean, those two basically are going to be settling the score between 1st and 2nd. And that leaves the inconsistencies that we're seeing out here in this second moto, leaves the door wide open for some great battles for that final podium spot and that bronze heading into and through the final moto. And as far as the overall is concerned, again, you know, we put a lot of emphasis on championships, but that 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, all those positions are very important when it comes to the nude range.
It is for sure, and just having good rides in general, trying to show some good speed, getting those lap times down, because all these team managers and team owners, they look at the lap times and see who's got the outright speed to throw down any moment. Whether you are in 1st or 21st, that will still get recorded.
Well, folks, Ricky Carmichael making his way into the announcing deck, and he is getting geared up. We're going to be speaking with him here in a few moments. We got 250A action coming up after the Schoolboy 1 class, and Ricky's also got some pretty cool announcements to be making here shortly. So let everybody back home know. Maybe tag it in social medias and let folks know that Ricky's getting ready to join us on Racer TV. So we're going to get some pretty good insight from the GOAT himself.
He's had some history out here at the ranch, dominating amateur himself.
Yep.
And even more dominating as a pro.
I watched him graduating through the 60s, the 80s, and the 125s. It was, man, it's just hard to believe that we have gone through that many years and that many Loretta Lynn's. I think it was the 15th was the first one that I ever made my way down here to. And, man, a lot of water under the bridges here at Loretta Lynn's, but the GOAT has certainly proven his worth from those days. I mean, he was touted as being something great, and man, was he ever.
You know, James Stewart and Ricky Carmichael both, there's some of those amateurs that you look back and you don't even picture anybody else even on the same level. You know, you think Travis Pastrana, you think, oh, Justin Bucklew. You know, he used to be able to come up there and challenge him. And just like the Michael Essies, you used to think, okay, Villapoto and Millsaps, they were the three-way fight. Even Ryan Dungey, you know, you're looking at him his last year. It was Stroop, Osborne, him. But when it comes to Carmichael and Stewart, there was nobody to match them in their amateur career, much less their pro careers. So
Waning moments of the Schoolboy 112-16 BC class now as Jalik Swole is on his way home to a Moto 2 win, and if he can hang on to this all the way to the very, very end, that will set things up with he and Mason Gonzalez and a winner-take-all shootout for the overall the Schoolboy 112-16 BC class. Austin Black in third, the number 55 machine. Again, looking at those Moto 1 scores for him, a 24th place position. Palmer Neely, the 77. He took 15th in Moto number 1. He's running 4th right now. The 85, Caden Nipping, he took 8th place position. He's currently running in a 5th place spot. That's going to certainly help him out in the running for bettering himself in the overall positions there. We see Carter Bees, the 33 machine, who had a good start in Moto 1, ran a pretty good race. He ended up finishing in the 7th place position. He is currently in 6th place, so he's a little better than last time out. Gavin Leachman, the number 19, he took 12th in Moto 1, so he's running 7th this time. Ethan Mann, the 52, now is running in an 8th place position. And he took 3rd in Moto 1, so moving up into that 3rd place position, maybe a little more as the checkers are out for Jalik Swole and Mason Gonzalez. Now we'll wait just a few seconds. We'll head down to the podium, the Race Tech podium here in just a moment with Jason Wygant. He'll be talking to Swole, Gonzalez, and Black. But a lot of question is, to me anyway, where did Ethan Mann and Colin Park make it to? I see that Park was in 9th. He took 4th in Moto 1. Ethan Mann, the number 52 machine, he was a top finisher as well as he took 3rd. So they're running back-to-back again, but can they get another position out there? Bees checks in 6th now with the checkers out. Leachman is 7th. And let's see what's going on in 8th. Mann does hold on to it, and it looks like will Park hold on to 9th? And Russ Chapman, I believe, in the number 10 spots. And that's what we're looking at as we head down to the Race Tech podium with Jason Wygant as he's ready to celebrate once again.
We'll be here in a moment, giving Jalik Swole, Austin Black, and Mason Gonzalez an opportunity to get cooled off here under the tents. We'll have them up on the stage in a moment. Always cool to see and hear the 125s out there, but pretty much any time we've lined them up, Jalik Swole has got it dialed in. Last year, this year, morning, night, noon, twice on Sunday. This guy's got the Husky 125 locked in. And it is starting to get hotter out here, so the recovery time is taking a little longer. Let's get you up there, Jalik. We'll bring Jalik Swole on up to the podium and give him a gold medal. That's a job well done for him. Just keeps rolling with these moto wins. And a whole shot award to boot. The folks from 7 hooking him up with a fresh jersey. Got the goggles. Yep. Oh, me? Oh, right. I've won the whole shot award. Yes. Yes. I was the first to the podium, so maybe that's something. Here he comes. Well, this guy's been doing it so much on this machine, I think we're going to start calling him Mr. 125. He rides to number 30. He's got a gold medal. Jalik Swole. Annabelle Helmet's whole shot award to boot. Are you going to be sad when you got to leave the 125 behind someday?
Definitely not.
Okay, you're good. You're good. All right, I like it. How'd that moto go for you?
Pretty good. Got off to a great start, and other than that, track was pretty tricky. There's some really deep ruts out there, but yeah, just try to keep it up, and yeah.
Cool. Who do you want to thank, man?
I'd like to thank my mom, my dad, my mechanic, Brandon, trainer Tim Ferry, Abby Ferry, my grandparents for coming out and supporting, Bobby Hewitt, Murphy. I'm in a lost for words right now. I can't really remember, but Husqvarna, Rockstar, Aero Helmets, Alpine Star, 7 and Max, Roger Larson, Malcolm Stewart for coming out and supporting, WP Suspension, Bell Ray, Dunlop, and 100%. Anybody else who I forgot, I thank you.
There it is, folks. Number 30 has got the Moto win. Oh, he wants him to hold the whole shot check. Let's hear it for Jalek Swole. They need to hold it. There you go. It's looking for Mason Gonzalez, our second place finisher. Here he comes. Coming out front, and let's hear it for our second place finisher, Mason Gonzalez. Good ride, Mason. How'd it go?
Went good, got off to a good start. Dunlop tires were hooking up amazing. I knew Jalek was going to sprint those first couple laps, so just try to stay in behind him. And then I was top 3. Austin, me, and Jalek are pretty much going the same speed, so it's hard to capitalize on mistakes when they're not making them.
There you go. It's true. It's true. He didn't. Who do you want to thank?
I want to thank my mom, my dad, my grandma, my sister, my whole family, Lord Jesus Christ, Alpine Stars, Thor, 100% 60, Pro Taper, FMF, Triangle Cycles, Rob, Sherry, the old Queen family, Rodale, TCD Suspension, and everybody else I forgot. Thank you. And 100%.
There it is. Mason Gonzalez, second place. And we got to get Austin Black up here third on the 55. Austin Black. Bronze medal for Austin Black. How was your moto?
It was good. I got off to a decent start. I was kind of in the back of the pack, but made my way up first lap and rode like I knew how to ride. I wish I could have got up front a little earlier and ran at those guys, but it is what it is.
All right. Who do you want to thank, Austin?
Troy Lee Designs, KTM, Hillsborough Motorsports, Factory Connection, the whole Real Deal crew. We did working our ass off for this. Everybody. Dunlop, tires are hooking up awesome. Alpine Star, 100%. Everybody, thanks so much.
There it is, folks. Austin Black, third place. Austin Black. All right. And that's all for Schoolboy. The next moto is going to be a good one, so take it, boys.